Right. That's what we're looking for. So you can check that against what you said. Kathy said it hasn't been.
Yeah, I can do this. She had some left to do.
Okay. Right.
We can look at a few cups if you want to. I got some if you want to start going through the list. Is that your idea was to go through them individually? Yep. Right. Yep. So I've got a handful here, then I'll mark them so when we don't do it again. Right? Get them all together. From who? Gail? Let me check and see if she even came up here on the invite. No response on the invite, but so I don't know.
Well, at 7 o'clock, we have 4 minutes. The order discussion was going to be the LID, open farm again, and conditional use permits. The LID is not federation. So, Brian says there are some conditional use permits we can pick up. All intent there is that we give a conditional use permit to some of these businesses, organizations, whatever, and for individuals, but we don't always follow up on them. And we don't want these things to go so long that they feel grandfathered in. We kind of need to stay up on it. And I don't think there's I guess we're the government involved to ensure that these things are enacted and maintained. So that's my intent there. We will start off on the tiny homes discussion. Where we left off last time was the definition of the tiny homes. I think we should focus, we need to distinguish between tiny homes on wheels and on those, or tiny homes which are on a white foundation. Now, a tiny home on a foundation is very similar to what we've been talking with ADUs, additional dwelling units. You have a house on the lot, you can go to granny flat or an ADU in the backyard as long as it meets the setbacks and such, hook up to your sewer, water, electricity, et cetera, et cetera. That's kind of good. In many instances, you could call a tiny home on a foundation and they have to, well, ADUs have been forever, it's a new name. But then when they went into mobile ones, they had playground, apartment parks, and apartment backyard, that became a whole different issue. I think last time we talked more about the tiny homes on foundation. There are no, if I remember right, there is no size requirement in the city of Oak Ridge for a house. You can build a house as small as you want, because it was manufactured homes, I believe, are 900 square feet or something thereabouts. But you can build your residence, much as small as you want. The issue that we have is that when we start talking tiny homes, people when they live in those as a primary residence, if they put on a lot, singularly, they can live on it. Tiny house is the same thing as a residence as far as the city is concerned. What people seem to want to do is have multiple of these, or there's a case where in Portland, where somewhere in Oregon, a couple had a house was building an ADU, were living in a small ADU and renting out the house up front, basically like the Airbnb. So they came by and said, no, you got to be evicted. And so they were often paying for that. They decided to just live in one room of the house rather than the whole house. So they're trying wheelchairs because they're being forced to live back in their own residence. Who has some issues, first questions? We have to need to throw out this as what I think we're going to end up seeing is people wanting to do multiple tiny homes on a lot or small development. Oregon has been getting their rules or revamping their rules, adjusting their rules to accommodate things. Portland is the biggest example of where they have become very flexible, being able to put multiple units on a lot. One of the issues we have in Oak Ridge is, as you'll see on this zoning map, the only area that is zoned for multiple housing beyond either R1, one house, or R lot, up to 3 acre house, two sides, is a tiny little area over towards the end of Jasper. You'll see it on the east end of town, just below the railroad tracks. The spur heads over to the OFC. It's the orange area. That is the only aircute area we have in this town. That's the only place that we can put in without a conditional use permit, multi-dwelling units. Now we have a couple of apartments that is zoned in the R1, but I believe they're specific facilities. They're not standard apartments, and that's why they are. I'm not sure if they're trying or outright use in those, but we do have a requirement in our code as to what can go where outright, what can go conditionally, But there's also, I noticed, on the very last, after outright and conditionally, there's a line at the bottom basically says that the city planner can use a little judgment on based on what works for the city. So there are some options there. A tiny home community is basically nothing more than a small apartment complex. But that requires a resident manager, which should have regardless, because I mean, very small quarters like that, one neighbor gets on a scuffle, next thing you know, everybody in the whole place is involved because it's smaller and all that. Things can go awry very quickly. We need more workforce size units, affordable units in this town. And reading through the material, it's a process. We just can't sit here and say, oh, we're going to take this whole west side of Oak Ridge R1 and make it R2. You have to give out a 45 or 65-day notice to the state's land use planning board before the first hearing. There's a number of hearings involved, and they kind of iterated that it could take up to a year to do a zone change. But it might be something we might want to start, and then all the youngsters who take over from us have it after that. The issues that come up with rezoning is the neighborhood. What's the neighborhood think about that? And they're going to be able to come to that planning meetings and voice their opinions. So we need to have, if we develop a plan, do some zone changing, then we're going to have to put together a plan that works for everybody, not just the city, the neighborhood that we're looking at rezoning. And the intent, if it gets approved, then you also simultaneously do an amendment to the what's our guiding document?
874
No, the
charter
not charter.
code.
The no comprehensive plan.
Comprehensive plan.
One of those guys. So it's a process. This is sat here as we see it now for an awful long time, and I see no reason why we shouldn't put some work into this and see. Obviously, council has to approve before it would even go to. I believe council would have to look at it even before it goes to the state's land use planning board. Off the part, people. You may have it. Thoughts, opinions?
So is there any minimum lot size that can be?
R1, yes.
Yeah. See here.
Yes, I believe so.
Here it is. 5,000 square feet. 5,000 square feet.
And duplex, and we had 2 lots, and we adjusted one because the other residents were still made on the setback, but he owned both lots. Yes, sir.
So, if the developer wanted to build a cluster of 20 homes and sell them individually, currently that's not doable.
Well, not with the land we have, really. Yeah. And there's 2 ways you can go. You can do public utilities district. That's a big deal. It's like a subdivision. It's quite a process. But if you had any parcel of land large enough, they could probably go in with and it was R2, then they should be able to do a cluster of tiny homes and cover it.
I'm thinking an area up there around the industrial site would be an easier place to create an R2 tiny home, you know.
I don't know if we could I know we just got to rezoning part of the industrial park to next year's on Coconino.
Well, hopefully tomorrow.
What's that?
Hopefully Thursday.
Oh,
Hopefully they'll pass it. Yeah, it goes to council. So let me look in the mixed use section here.
Next use normally doesn't, we have a lot of restrictions in this because it's still considered going off to the force of USDA.
Well, the other concept is we need to build a cluster of tiny homes as rentals. And so, you know, we take a management.
Yeah, that's all up to the developer whether he wants to, because you can either sell individual like townhomes or rent them. Both concepts I think are fairly feasible and allowable, but again, we need to create space for it. So that's the first thing we need to look at and consider is zoning, and you can't just take one little block and say, well, we're going to zone that R2, because that's what they call spot zone. I think if you do an entire block, you can do it, but a single parcel or two parcels on a block is not looked at favorably and would probably be denied by the state. Let's go ahead and I'm assuming, you know, nothing's already written in stone, and if we have extenuating circumstances and the right package, and the guy got up there and did a song and dance for the state, and anything's possible. I'm not saying you can't do that.
Well, I think my thought is that if we have another definition, and each tiny home occupies individual tax lot, and it's a smaller size than the 5,000, that it just maintains. So we could calculate that the tiny home would be less than 1,000 square feet, and then we could apply our setbacks and say that would be a new tiny home lot.
So you would not just buy the land, but you would buy the land. Basically just like a residential.
Except it's condensed, right? So you have high density.
Would it be possible to adjust the setbacks as well for those that
Variance.
Because
what?
Variance, right? You know,
it's possible, but remember, you're probably going to be surrounded by neighbors. And we want to make sure we try to keep, setbacks possible.
Which would bring your size down anyway. 10 foot on three sides, 20 feet off the street.
of interest is if you look at the requirements in mixed use, it's really wide open. If you read that 902. It's 119, page 19 and 874. There might be a little wiggle room in there where you could set up a tiny home subdivision, so to speak.
you're not changing.
Mhm.
And you can probably put it in.
You can go down to, I think, 80% of that 5,000 feet. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's requiring you, like, lot dimensions, lot coverage allowed to correspond to the regulations of that district in which the proposed use would otherwise be allowed. So if we're talking about a different zoning set, would we be able to write new ones specifically for that zone?
A district, make a district?
Yeah.
Well, you would have a new zoning criteria.
Right.
So you're not saying, what, you would have something. Like a one with a number two, and mixed use, high density.
It seems like this is just, way back when I was originally thinking about this. Or kind of felt that it seems like identity would have worked better. And that was originally where discussion was to look at it through the high density for the number of kind of homes we were looking to build there. But I don't know. He never did give me all the rules about high density. So I really want to know what that meant as far as, setback, yard.
But I don't think it's been done, right? That's not been defined on what we can do or what we should maintain as a minimum. I mean, there are a number of places in town where there are Hill Street, there's a multi-unit place, and that's an R1 zone. Market Street, there's a multi-unit place, and that's R1.
Hill Street? Hill Street?
Yeah, Hill Street,
Yeah.
you go around the corner on the left-hand side.
Oh, the old clinic or whatever it was?
Well, no, it looks like it was maybe,
There's like three units in there. And I would say they're less than 1,000 square feet each.
Oh, yeah, that used to be. We don't know if they ever applied for. Units. No.
No, across the street.
And this.
Right, all points right now.
Somebody mentioned to me that there was a couple of years in there. They, a couple of old guys sitting out on the chair patio there. I didn't know if it was senior.
No, actually, I noticed that one of the guys who lives in, I used to live down the street from the house. That was just, somebody just redid it. Hill Street, further down.
Well, the woman who was renting my house when I bought it, she moved into the last unit in that building, and she was there a month and a half before she got a house. So she was in like the third one back at her and two daughters. So, and she was renting it from All Points Realty. So I don't know if they own it.
That's the last house on the block. There's no houses beyond that.
Yeah, there is. There's another house, got a great big propane tank sitting beside it. Has a, looks like a heat pump attached to it. And then if you start, what would go up to toward Willamette Way, there's another house back in the back. Looks like a pretty small house. So it's on that section of Hill Street, it's almost in the middle. on the left, on the north side.
There you go, right there on the map. Back up. All right, you see where the red car is there? On the left-hand side?
Mm-hmm.
See the red and white car? It's just at the margin.
Mm-hmm.
And that place I'm talking about is out right here. There we go. Right there.
Oh, those three units.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's another one on 58.
I was thinking of how to do it.
Yeah, they're right there, right?
There's like 3 units on one. There's like 20 units on 58.
They're loud.
Yeah, but I think it's only single.
That's what I'm. Remodeling for. But no, those three units.
Yeah, they're in pretty rough shape.
Yeah. Very rough there.
Yeah, just, you know, we do have some scattered, somebody snuck them in somewhere and grandfather them in before.
Yeah.
You know, if they were built in the 40s or something. Possibly.
Absolutely. I don't know when this standing map was originally developed, but
16 is the date was on the file, so I don't know if that's 16 or 18, one of the two.
the other two, to the one there on County Road. I don't remember what the name of that place is.
Oh, yeah. The apartment complex?
Yeah, that's the one where it comes.
Yeah, it's low income and it's one on Fern,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Larger complex.
smaller complex.
Fern.
Fern Street, right up to down from the Baptist Church, that's more elderly.
Right. Don't they have more units there? Yeah, okay.
It's a 2-story, there's probably 6 units. All units for.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's something that we were there.
Yeah, and that's the one on color.
Ironwood.
It's there. And if you go up here, Brandon, at the
Okay.
top, or Union and Walker, I can go over here. Oh, wait, stop.
You're looking for that new passage?
No. Oh, this one.
Yes.
That's a couple of units there.
Mm-hmm. Again, they're, I mean, they're very old.
I know.
So we're curious, you know, if, areas like that, you have to get community around it to go along.
Oh, absolutely.
And so it'd be easier to find land that wasn't going to have a bunch of old structures. People who might not want it. So it'd be, like, it would be a lot easier to do a kind of
Mhm.
Or, you know, already have that.
or behind them.
That's Western, that's easy traffic access.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole new town. Yeah, just as you come into the town.
Oh, the units back there.
Yeah, those units.
Mm-hmm.
That, I mean, that would be.
Yeah, all points is covering that one as well.
Yeah.
And I've heard that several of those apartments were deemed unoccupiable. They were leaking and had mold and stuff, so he's still trying to sell it, she's trying to sell it for $1 million.
Is that on the block?
Yeah, the house,
Yeah.
well, The whole thing is the house, the units and, yeah.
It was, yeah. 40 years ago, it was a grocery store. Huh?
Rascals.
Yeah, Rascals was a grocery store. Well, I think the idea really is to start looking for city-owned lots that are empty, that the city has already designated they want to unload. Find those lots and see what it would take to redistrict each one of them, or some of them at any rate, into mixed use, and then have ODAC promote those lots, you know, to developers along with anything else out of OIP. And try to, you know, get some high density housing in town. I would rather see townhouses. Townhouses are a lot easier.
Sure, individual houses are probably much more expensive, cost per square foot to build than attached units. And if you go with the row house style, 2 stories, and have a carport area.
Yep. The other problem with the property behind Best Western Hotel is that it is a floodplain, according to Rick. It had everything coming down off of that hill there drains into that area. And there's a small swale going through the middle of the property.
Also, more of a
Wetland, yeah.
wetland area.
Yeah. Right. So those kind of things have to be looked at.
That's a mitigation problem.
Right.
Yeah, I like the concept of having a large enough lot that you could put small cluster or tiny homes on it. Whether it be an acre or whatever.
Yeah.
And I could see a city developing a separate code for allowance, maybe a conditional use permit, to be able to have those.
Yeah, it could be a source of income for the city if the city puts the building in. That puts them in the rental business, which is
Governments are good at governing. Yeah. That'd be a good opportunity for program developer. Half dozen or 8 tiny homes, central
right.
facility.
Similar to those ones in Portland now.
Mm-hmm.
And the one in Eugene.
I'm hoping to go out and visit the one in Eugene and try to find out a little bit more about how they set that. I think they took it on brownfield, and so it must have been city land, and then they converted it. But I don't know how they.
The one off of River Road.
Haven't been to it. I just know that.
That was private property, guy. I talked to him for quite a while. That was my original proposal to Rick. And Louis, several years ago, was to do something similar to that. To the old one, because they have several of them in Eugene, and then they built that new one. Mm-hmm. And the new one is really nice. And it's kind of gated.
Now, they have individual facilities in each of the units.
Yeah.
One of them was kind of almost transitional housing, where you had a room and you trotted across the courtyard.
Oh, on River Road?
I don't know. I know.
Yeah.
I thought.
Well, the ones down in downtown, that one that I don't remember what the name of that street. Those, I think all of those were supposed to be transitional. The ones up on River Road, those are owned by people who bought them.
Oh, the units themselves.
Yeah, they're 1,000 square feet with a lot. They got a 1 bedroom with a full kitchen, living room, dining room area, and a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I took a ton of pictures.
But are they individual lots? Do they buy it on the lot as well, or
No, they bought it as a condo. It's more, I think they bought them as condos, and they're controlled by an HOA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's lots of passions, lots of ways of doing this. You know, so many of it relates back to what we've been doing for decades and decades. But they call them tiny homes, so now it seems to be a whole different subject. The Brian, little Texas is, I understand most of it's in a floodplain.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody said that, no, that was before we had the levy on. Now, I wonder if you might get that situation. You know, because that would open, we've had a couple of people looking at
Mm-hmm. Showstopper. Yeah.
Would it be worth, you think, trying to talk to you whether does it make floodplains?
It'd be darn good engineered.
Yeah, they have periodic discussions. They've just redone all the maps, so they've kind of looped me in a little bit. So I can reach out to one of them probably.
Get rid of that on the city. It's not contiguous to the feed. There's a likelihood that we would do it favorably with USDA.
I think the big issue is how do you get out? You need
Oh, yeah.
at least 2 ways in and out.
Mm-hmm.
And one way is through a continuation of Jasper. I would imagine that create a problem with several roads there.
Well, it's a living house houses back there.
There are students.
Catch a little bit over fast.
I know, but there are 2 ways.
Mm-hmm.
One is Jasper, and then one's Side Street where with another conditional.
Yes.
If it comes out, you got to work.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
Right.
going to turn
But they're not finished streets.
Well, neither are none of them finished.
And do you see cul-de-sacs, neighborhoods, you have to have 2 ways in and out? I don't think that's under the requirement.
I guess. I mean, you have plenty of places where you have cul-de-sacs.
Mm-hmm. And good communities, one way. Out. Both ends of town.
There's a possibility of connecting with Rogers Lane too. So,
That raises a railroad issue, right?
Yeah, no, it doesn't want to put
Right.
more crossing. I'm sorry for policy. Somebody worked out.
But I mean, really, you could connect to it via railroad avenue. And that runs all the way over to Fish Hatchery.
Mm-hmm. We get out of our city limits, it's in the UGB. That would be, I'll see what I find. But is that road actually, I'm not sure what UP has a right of way there. If that road is actually, was originally made, Yeah, if you drive, that's right here, come in, drive down to the brush there. To that area. Anything above West Second, the railroad cut just goes on straight up, not developable. Developable. Same thing with the other side of the hill from golf course community. Is there a consensus? Do we see a need to move forward with trying to make, what are the tiny homes, what do they call them?
High density,
Affordable workforce.
high density housing.
Mm-hmm.
I would propose that we give at least two of us sit down with Brian and go over that map of the city-owned properties. And between us, between the CA and us, pick which property make the most sense to stare at. Have Brian lock them out so we know what the actual district is for each of those lots. And that way we know just exactly how many properties it's actually going to involve changing to a mixed use lot. Look at those and come back at our next meeting and say, here's what we got. And we either move forward with it or back up 10 yards and go.
I think we just need one person commission to sit down with. Are you willing to sit down with Brian at some sort?
Oh, sure.
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 Come out.
Yeah, because I think until we know exactly
What's available
as far as size goes, if we know that, what if we say 5,000? Oh, we did say, what's the minimum lot size?
Well, that's something we need to adjust. Tiny lots would be appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first you need to define what a tiny home
Right, right,
is.
exactly.
So, I mean, we did get some documentation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's in other areas, it's defined as being the dwelling, say, 400 square feet.
Yeah, they're saying 400, some places are saying 800 or less.
Right.
So we have a lot of houses in Walker that are less than 800 square feet.
Some people
Already.
Already, yeah.
We're already a tiny home village. Who would have thought?
Well,
But
so we have to define what a tiny home is. I propose we do that right now.
Well, I think that we should do
yeah, Oregon,
Well, that's next.
Oregon.
Oregon special.
I would have got it.
We should have started
I
there.
guess we did. That's the building code conversion. And there's an exception for small homes where you can use ladders for lofts. Ceiling heights restrictions are lifted. And a number of other things.
And so they put it at 600 square feet.
600.
That special.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have to have facilities?
Hmm?
Does it have to have facilities? Bathroom.
That's where a lot of states, well, if you're on wheels, and you can only stay for 14 days, whatever, off you go. What about homes is, if you cluster these all on one piece of property, then the tax rate's the same as everybody else in that community. I'm getting a lot of livability for very little taxes. So, and the city needs to be, because they need to size meters and be able to build the infrastructure to accommodate the community. Whether it be ingress roads or improving roads through the neighborhood, and identifying.
Would that be on the developer's zone?
It can be, but usually it is. But one of the things we don't have in the city either is systems of ground streets.
Well, that's another hole we gotta fill.
Mm-hmm. So, everything going to happen in the city, a lot of the city's dying. One of the reasons why nickels hard to find.
Did we ever get an estimate of what we thought the SDS would be?
For the full gamut,
I thought Rick had at some point.
Ed Hodges forwarded some ideas. Yeah. Yeah, because you're doing it for different types of functions, whether it be, water, roads, it depends on the function you're doing an SDC for. Right, but you got to do all the background analysis in order to justify the SDC, which is what the cost is. So it's, I think Ed was talking somewhere in the neighborhood of $7,000 to $10,000 per SDC. Not once you start exercising them, no. Yeah.
That's going to be impact on the you need to be able to have enough turnaround and have a hammerhead or sufficient turnaround on this lot to be able to get fire ambulance in there. And that's where one of the issues comes in.
So currently, isn't the line to the water treatment plant size for treatment plant capacity?
Not sure what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, water treatment plants is on the other side of the river, so.
Mm-hmm.
Put that in, they make size that pipe to actualize system capacity of the plant.
I would think so.
And so if we're only running at 50% capacity, we have some.
Mm-hmm. Understand that is something that's it's a existing infrastructure, maybe some was on.
Or, do we even know the capacity of this infrastructure?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Robert does the capacity.
So before we got too far into the planning stage, we would want to bring
I'd say the other end is where you're concerned about, and that would be the water. So he's concerned right now. We're right at kind of a limit at where we operate now. He's a little bit of slop in there, but it's not like we have a lot of excess capacity in water production. Right. It'll get better because as we rebuild well 2, it'll go up because that's a high output well, but make it more efficient. But well, that happens this year. So. Fiscal year. If I can scrape up the cash. So wouldn't Kokanee be just an easy answer for this? At least as a test case. You
we
could.
talked about making it next year. Because we talked about that. It seemed to be consistent. Having the workflow situation. Which I think we should, it's the game about the
6.
6 as a very Was it 24 there?
Yeah.
There was-
He's going to get into the security guard. That's what he is. That's how he gets through by the instruction.
Yeah, we have, there's nothing written, so what a security guard can look like.
You can only be one person, and there is a limit, I think, to how big. But my thought would be if you looked at along Kokanee and back it up to the pond, could be kind of a nice residential look. You got plenty of water pressure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is this something we know that the preliminary software USDA is about rezoning those for that?
Well, no, these are going rezone mixed use, hopefully Thursday. So what I really have to do is kind of figure out what the planner, what does that mixed use really mean? Because it refers to underlying where it would be in, what district it would be in. So I got to see how they interpret that. Does that mean that if we build a residential home, does that mean we're stuck with the residential use, or which means all that old stuff applies of 5,000 square feet and everything else? Yeah.
So here's the permanent outdoor and the residential connection, 500 and recreation, space fixture provided for in this ordinance. Okay, well, that's a good start. Do it. Yeah.
So I'll check with the LCOG planner and see if they agree that mixed use ordinance would, the definition would allow for a high density type situation. I don't know. I mean, there's nothing, we don't have anything that says high density, so I don't know how that's going to fly with them. But
Probably need to rework the intersections to allow for safer access.
Well, and that brings me back to this discussion with the TSP about a protected left turn into the industrial park. I'm going to start with the mixed use that's going to start putting high density homes over there. You're going to want to start protecting the people trying to get in there.
Well, usually at that point, if it's a developer coming in, he would get with ODOT engineers and say, look, this is what we need. How can we make it work? So that was not going to it's already been identified as safety issue. But it's kind of on the developers at that point.
Right. I mean, you have the same thing with this after you don't have to protect the
Right.
For the LOEM.
But that's not as bad because straight away you have elevated visibility. But I know by the time you get to crash streets like your road from here, like kind of those trucks are moving.
Just try to go into these.
Yeah. Yeah, just try to get into these. Well, yeah, so you leave that to the developer, then the other question in my mind is that the intersection of Kokanee and Industrial Parkway, you have the way station there. I guess it wouldn't really be in the line.
That's a good wide,
What's that?
a good wide street there, intersection. What were you thinking? That's another video.
And I lost my mind.
Oh, I mean,
Well, it's pretty wide because you got Davidson pulling equipment.
mm-hmm. Well, in January, I had a truck, so it's semi low, and then next year. And yeah, that'd be an ideal place for a developer. Because we got some open space behind between. You can only build so far back on those lots before you get into toilet issues.
Yeah. Well, Rick, one of the conversations I had with Rick a while back was that there was a trail that was supposed to run alongside the pond area.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, he was thinking that it might be that the possibility, the need would be to make it wide enough that you could get service vehicles back there if they had to do work on either the pond or something else back in that area.
Oh, between ponds and there.
Pond and Kokanee. And it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to just, put an easement back through there so that it's everybody looking at that property to develop that's going to see there's an easement there.
Well, I would think
What?
There's quite a bit of distance between the back of those lots.
Oh, I know, but you have no idea what kind of, structure they want to put there.
No, I'm saying is that if you put the trail in, it would be wide, as you said. It's on this map.
Oh, yeah.
Substantial room.
yes, if they use it, because the trail's already there.
Yeah.
And making it wider would never probably be the best bet. And a developer's probably going to want to fence off that whole back area out there for liability. Family moving in, anything, you got Johnny floating face up in the ponds there. And on that. Okay. Well, boss, you got some information to move forward with?
Yeah, I got two tasks. So I'll check the mixed use designation with the planner, and then we'll identify city properties to other properties that might work as well. And is there anything else that you want? We've already going to use the definition that we found there for tiny home. Yeah. That happens. Yeah. A pad of some sort.
As is any of these kind of.
I think it just comes down to they're sitting on a foundation or they're sitting on wheels.
Mm-hmm. We like foundations because foundations are fast ground and ground is flexible. We got to pay for your infrastructure. One item that we talked about early on, I believe there was a kind of a proposition in the air about having a tiny home park. Basically, I think we resolved that by saying it's a trailer. And you're either in the existing trailer parks or we consider designating in other areas of trailer park. That's the trailer park, they have to have the other facilities that trailer parks have. You have the room under there, but it would be zoned separately as home park.
Just my opinion.
Well, in the last probably 2 years, the whole in my opinion, the tiny homes on wheels, things have kind of calmed down a bit. It's, you know, it's go out and buy a motorhome or travel trip. They've been designing those for close to 100 years. They know what they're doing. All right, anybody got anything else? Any other things you want to talk about this evening? We have 3 minutes.
We're going to talk about the short-term rental.
No, Brian's already doing some further research on that.
Want to look at a couple cups?
Again?
You want to look at a couple cups? Perhaps the most controversial one. Avant-garden. So those were kind of the conditions that it passed on. So Rick did a tour right before he left. I had him go, the guy offered to let him in and look at it because we had 3 citizen complaints. So he did a complete tour of the facility and he deemed it falling within the guidelines of this conditional use permit. It's the marijuana processing place down by Hadley's shop. Well, he actually admitted to Rick that he was thinking about bringing in some containers. Rick told him that that would not be appropriate unless he actually puts the 58 design standards on the front of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kind of stopped him in his tracks. So that's why he did a lot like that. So Rick mentioned that he didn't think so because that would have been a stormwater problem. He would have had to make some sort of when he built it, he would have had to implement some sort of stormwater control. Yeah.
And that's one of the issues we had with a number of businesses.
Say they're going to pay when they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just I think we need to really word these things well. Like in this case, if you look at the number 3, the term combat, it doesn't say eliminate, it just says combat. So it's kind of, well, even our lawyer said you don't stand a chance. Don't even bother. So. There's that one, and let's see. Who actually wasn't paying his gas tax for a whole year. So Bill finally picked up on it, and we talked to him, and he goes, you never told me I had to pay a gas tax. So we went back and forth, and finally the attorney sent him a letter, and the next thing you know, we got a $30,000 check. So So I don't see anything for this guy. It seems like he's in compliance.
Oh, yeah.
So it's tough to get some of these descriptions of what they are. So I had to kind of go into some of the minutes, but variance, and then there's a Kent. You remember this one? But he was like wants to teach kids at the church, so he had to get a conditional use permit. Is that what it was? Or was it for signage? Conditional use permit to allow the Head Start of Lane County to operate their classrooms located on church grounds. Due to the age of children, be considered a daycare facility. So I guess that cup. Yeah, that's why it's here. Yeah. I don't know if there's a problem there. And I don't. Yeah. Yeah, it's just it. You look for the conditional use permit. Let me see. And it's very vague. It just says, okay. It's tough to pull all this out. That was all I could find on the church.
Yeah.
So I don't know what. So I had no idea what Dylan was going after here. Do you remember? Was that the community firewood program at the Public Works building? All right, so he's out of there by now, so no longer an issue. And then I had to hound him a little bit. See who this is.
Oh, they just
Oh, okay.
so they put it in fence. No, this is
Distillery.
This was for operating the distillery.
I don't know. It's, like I said, there's not a lot of information contained in here. So, had enough for tonight?
Yeah.
I'll get them in a list and then we can, or in a spreadsheet, we can figure out what the rest are. Well, you should know it. You should know how many you have out there anyway. I mean,
Mobile homes.
Right. that structure is supposed to go, yeah.
No.
You said the guy's down in California.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, yeah,
Florida?
because he's the one who was doing that. And I think it was, instead of negotiating, so, sure, he has contact
This is
information.
what has happened. The DFW, let's go in with us. We're going to open the DFW.
That's it. I don't know who you're doing for.
That's what I was talking to you. That'd be a possibility. We're going to do tours.
Sure. And, you know, it's not like we're huge, enough, we're gonna move a whole.
I will talk to Jared, see what he says.
Well, that's, and we're going to get to.
Yeah.
We're kind of doing enforcement on project.
Good job.
Thank you.
But
Anyway, that's what I'll talk.
Okay.
not yet. Yeah.
Gentlemen, anything? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Well,
What?
this after the meeting, just have that running question. We have an assigned, counselor from, the city, the charter city counselor is assigned to the city. But then does that mean any counselor can pop in at any time? Even though that we're on, Zoom, I don't,